We're here today to do a few shots in the water pond, as you can see in the background. We just finished testing and we'll be showing you all the footage later of how we set it up. But we got inspiration the other day from some shots we saw on the web, on Pinterest. We searched around and found one shot like this one you're seeing now on the screen, which is inspired me to just try this, and we'll take you around and show you all the setup and how we achieve these shots. So I bought this second-hand flash years ago, and I haven't used it for a while, but it actually has a very short duration on some of the output of the flash. So when I fire it, it actually has a very short duration, which means that I can freeze the subject and I won't get any blur in the subject, the product going into the water and all the bubbles coming up. So all that drama will be frozen solid. There'll be no blur on the edges. So it's actually worked out really well. So you don't have to really spend $3,000–4,000 or more on a flash. Just go onto eBay and have a look for someone getting rid of a flash which might do the same job. And yeah, with a short duration, you can put your speed to the highest sync speed on your camera, which is, on my camera, is 1/60th of a second. And I'm on about f8 on 800 ISO because I need the depth of field. Unfortunately, the higher you go with the speed, with the flash power, is you actually your duration of your flash gets slower and slower. So you have to really, I'm shooting at the lowest power now for this type of flash. We're using the 70–200mm 2.8 on manual focus, and we're going to be shooting with a longer lens on around 200–150 to keep away from the tank. There'll be a lot of water splashing out from the tank, so we probably want to be a couple of meters away from any splashes coming onto the camera. And we'll be also turning the camera into a vertical format and just getting that, I guess it just fits better into what I want to do on my website. So I've chosen a strip light, which we can easily adjust depending on the reflection we get on the bottle. On the product, as it drops in, I want to get a nice highlight on the side to give it that metallic and shiny effect. So I've chosen to bring it in and use it vertically. So just get yourself color balance and get a starting point. You will get a bit of a cast with the water and the glass or the perspex, and it might go a little bit green or a little bit yellow. So this will give you a starting point, and then subtract or add color to that to get the right balance. Once you've got your white balance, get your first reading at the front of the tank, and that will give you your starting point, and then do the back, and that should be about a stopover. We did put the mirror here to hopefully you can see the effect. Just gives us a bit of a shine on the product. Or in other shots I had it actually inside the tank, because this depends on how the product falls in and what angle. So you're going to get shine on the left or the right. Without overfilling it, you still want to keep the shape of this product without overfilling the lighting and killing the mood. And this second head, we put, it's a narrow grid spot, and you can see it glowing in the background, give me a glow on and I can move it around. So it's about one stop over. We're going to be doing a few shots now, my assistant's dropping some of these product into the water, and we're going to hopefully get the right tilt and the right focus, of course, it's going to be a hit and miss. So we'll be shooting around 20 to 30 frames until we get the shot we want. We get this product and we picked our focus point, which is a few centimeters away from the perspex, and we just dropped it in. And you can see all the drama happening here. And then you have to wipe all the glass down and start all over again. There's another way of doing this which requires a little bit more retouching, and it's by sticking this onto, I put it onto this little spatula, and this allows, the handle is thick enough, allow it not to move around and roll. So with this, you can just drop in the product, whichever angle you want. And then just, of course, it's going to take more retouching. We just retouch the handle out later because we have that blank background, which will give us our base to comp things in. And so as we drop it in, we can create as much drama as we want. Yeah, and tilt it in different angles. And of course, we are more accurate on our focus too. And that's how we did some of these shots. But you can see there's amazing like little bubbles that come out. So the harder you go in, the more drama you create. And you can angle it and get all the nice lighting to the areas you want. Yeah, and that's really another way of doing it, which is actually more accurate and but more retouching. Okay, so we start off bringing into Photoshop our blank background. As you can see here, we've got the glow. We've got the glow on the left-hand side, midpoint roughly, and we did underexpose the background. It was further away from the strip light, so we'll get a nicer, deeper blue in the background to make the product stand out. Because the product is quite similar to the hot spot we've got here on the background. Then before we do that, I'll show you what you can see here, that I had all these etched professionally by someone. So they cut out all these properly. I'm not very good at this, so usually I hurry it up, and you get all those rough edges around the edges, and it's obvious it's not been done properly. You can see all this has been done. That would take ages to do. I really haven't got the patience to do that. And all this, all this little bit of detail was done perfectly. So I can drop it straight in to the top of my blank, the blue background, which I shot as a plate. So now that we've done that, we bring it all into Photoshop, and I've got it all ready. And you can see the first layer here come in. And then we've got layer number 2. And you can just move them around to put it in wherever you want. Layer number 3, which was the top of the that nice. I cut out a bit of that top of one of the nice waves on top of the tank underwater, which gives it a little bit more drama. And then we've got layer number 4. And you can deduct bubbles, cut them out if there's too much drama going on, but my hero shot is really this guy. So he's facing straight to the camera. You've got all the nice highlights on the sides from the mirror, and this one from the strip light, and all the internal reflection going on. But it gives it a bit of shape and roundness. And you can see here the same, or you can actually cut those, you can easily cut those highlights out and drop them in to another side of the product if it didn't catch on to the glass. if it wasn't reflective enough. But with the different exposures and the depth in the color, I think we've got a pretty good hero shot happening here. And yeah, everything worked out really well. But again, it does take hours of mucking around and I guess getting to a point where you know it's going to work, and it has to look, I guess, professional, like something you would put in your portfolio.